Hello and welcome to the channel. Today in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to install kvm on Ubuntu 18.04. We're going to configure the settings, launch the ISO, and get Windows running on your virtual environment. So stick around and let's dive in. In order to install and use kvm, we're going to have some packages on our system in order for it to work. So I've written down some notes here so that we do not get lost in the entire process. So these are the packages that we need, so just copy and paste it into your terminal. So kvm is ready to be used, but if we actually launch it right now, it's going to be asking us for a password, and anytime we launch kvm, it's going to ask us for a password in order for to use the program. In order to prevent that, so that we don't have to keep on manually entering the password, we can just add ourselves to the user group. And to do that, we're just going to copy and paste this command. And the only thing you would want to change is putting your own username. So if you do not know what your username is, just type in who am I, and it's basically going to tell you. So for me, it's Mark, and yeah, just now copy and paste and change your username right here between the argument and the user group. So to make sure this worked, actually just type in groups and then type in your username. As you can see, we are now in kvm. Alright, so now we're just going to activate kvm for the GUI to work. So I've written a simple one-line command. So this is basically going to activate kvm, and for it to actually work, we actually have to reboot. So since I already done this before, I'm not going to do it, but for you guys, just like press enter and just wait a couple seconds until your machine gets back to your to the desktop. Alright, so now let's launch kvm. So you're gonna type in virt-manager, or it should be just right in front for you if you're using the GNOME desktop environment. So once this opens, you're gonna be getting this menu, and we're gonna click on this button which says create new environment, and make sure the first one's selected, which is to install from the ISO, and just browse through your files, browse local, and just put in your Windows 7 ISO, and make sure this box is not selected. We're going to be choosing on our own. See, there's only Windows 7, so just click on that and click on forward. And for us, depending on your use case, you can change this, but for this tutorial, we're just going to be using around 2300 megabytes of RAM. Click on forward. Same thing, just depending on your use case. I'll be using 35. And just click on forward. And make sure we're going to be choosing customize configuration before install. So make sure this is check marked, and then we can click on finish. Alright, so before we actually boot off from the Windows ISO, we actually need to configure a lot of things. But don't worry, this will be really quickly. So we're going to choose on the IDE disk 1, and we're going to expand the options on advanced, and we're just going to change the disk bus to VirtIO, and click apply. Next we're going to change the display spice, and we're going to click on the type and change that to VNC server, and click apply. And next we're going to change XQL, and choose circus, and click apply. Next we're going to change network settings, so just click on NIC, and And for the device model, we're going to be choosing VirtIO, and just click apply. And just in case, we're going to remove the sound so it won't really bother us. Don't worry, we'll add this back. Yeah, just click remove. And next we're going to add our own set of hardware. So click on the add hardware button and make sure storage is selected. And from here we're going to click on the device type, or we're going to click on CD-ROM. And this is going to be for the Windows ISO. And after that's done, just click on finish. And since we have two, we're gonna actually use both of these. For the first CD-ROM, we're going to connect this to our Windows 7 ISO. So just click connect, and just browse through your Windows 7 ISO. So for me, it's right here, and just click OK. And next, we're gonna click on the shareable button. So make sure this is checkmarked, and click apply. Alright, so for the second CD-ROM drive, we're gonna be connecting an ISO that has all the drivers built in for KVM. So you actually have to go to a web page to download this. Let me just show you right now. And this is on the Fedora project on the documentation. So on this page, it's you want to head on over to the section which is all the way down, which is labeled direct downloads, and you actually wanted to download the stable ISO, so it's going to be the first one. I tried to lay this and it actually doesn't work, so the stable one actually worked for me. So yeah, just download the stable one, and once that's done, just head on over back to the head on over back to the virt-manager and just connect it back. So just browse local and click OK, and make sure the shareable checkbox is checkmarked. So yeah, make sure this is enabled, and just click apply. Alright, so now we're gonna make sure that Windows 7 will recognize the drivers and the ISO when we boot off from the ISO, which sounds kind of confusing, but you'll get to see how that works. And we're just going to be adding two more sets of hardware. So let's configure the bootloader. So you want to click on enable bootloader and check all these three boxes, which is the VirtIO and the two CD-ROMs that we created recently. So once that's done, just click apply. And next, now we're going to be adding the hardware. So we're going to be adding graphics, and make sure this is the type is set to Spice server, and everything else is default. So just click on finish, and one more hardware, and we're going to be adding video, and for the video, make sure it's QXL, I mean, and click on finish. And now we can start installing Windows 7. Alright, so let's launch Windows 7. So you want to head on over to the top left corner. It should say begin installation, so just click on the green check mark. But if you have a different screen like right here, just click on the play button and click on this desktop thing, and you should get this screen. Let me just extend this, and this might take some time here. Alright, so once you get this screen, just click on next and install now. Alright, so you'll get the terms and conditions. Just skip through this, and we're going to be clicking on custom installation. And since we have nothing here, we actually have to load the driver, which is the CD-ROM 2 that we actually made. So we're going to click on load driver. We're going to browse through the directory, and it's going to be labeled find the drive that's labeled VirtIO Windows and whichever version you have. So just expand on this and scroll all the way to the bottom, which is labeled VirtIO Store, and this is where the drivers are. So depending on your version, just click on what you have. So for this tutorial, it's Windows 7, and click on your architecture, so AMD 64. All right, so once you have this, just click on next. Alright, so now we have the drivers here. So yeah, just click on this and click on next. And just like usual, just install Windows 7 like you normally would. And I'll be right back with until the desktop loads up. Alright, so Windows 7 is up and loaded, and we can actually start using it. But the thing is, it's actually not optimized. Similar to VirtualBox with guest editions, we actually need to install some drivers onto the virtual lab. So to do that, we're going to open up the device manager, and under other devices, these are all the missing drivers that we need to install. So it's the internet, PCI ports, and the video controller. So let's start off with the first one, Ethernet port. Just right click and click on properties. And we're gonna click on update driver, and we're gonna browse through our computer. We're just gonna click on browse, and just click on the computer, and we're gonna be using this the VirtIO. Let's see. Yeah, click on it, click OK, and just click on next, and just click on always trust from Red Hat. Alright, so just we're gonna do the rest for these. So just click on properties, again update the driver, browse through our local directory, and make sure the VirtIO is selected, and click on next. Two more left. And the last one, the video controller. Alright, now all the drivers are installed. Alright, so the last thing that we need to do is enable video settings. So this will let us use Windows 7 with the seamless use of case. So obviously right now you can tell it's really choppy when I move windows, but this tweak is gonna fix that. So we're gonna have to power off the environment. So click on this drop down menu and just click on shutdown. Until this shuts down, we're going to click on the icon, info icon, and we're actually gonna remove some devices. So we're gonna remove the display VNC. So just click on remove. Click yes, and we're gonna remove the video service. So these were temporarily for us to order to install the Windows ISO, but now since we have Windows installed, we can remove this. And now we can actually just power it on, and switch the computer icon, and this should boot up Windows 7. As you saw right there on the BIOS screen, it was trying to find the CD. Obviously, you can take off the CD since Windows 7 now loads pretty nicely. As you can see, now it's really buttery smooth basically. In my screen, it basically looks like it's 60 FPS when I move the window. And also, final tip: if you want to change the resolution on your screen, just go to the Windows 7 Finder and just type in display and just adjust the resolution. So you can just change it to whatever you need. And then you would just click on apply and keep changes. But usually for me, I just prefer 720p. So I just click there, apply, changes, okay. And you can start using Windows 7 the way you want to now. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, please check out my other videos. They're quite similar to this. You'll find some enjoyment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll make more videos like this. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.